Hi, I'm Mark Cleghorn and welcome to Pose-Tober on the Photographer Academy, and we're looking at boudoir photography and how you can add different ideas into your session to either spice it up or just to add more variety. So every day on the Academy, we're adding one new image in for you, and you can check up here on our YouTube channel to kind of see the same content, but obviously our members get it ahead of time. But the Pose-Tober series is focused obviously on boudoir photography and their kind of how-to, so I'll explain the poses step by step. We can also look at why to add them in perhaps into your sessions to add that variety. But I'm sure that during the 31 ideas that we're giving you during the course of the month, you're going to be able to take it away, whether it's classic, creative, different moods and styles, different body shapes. You'll be able to actually add in the different kind of styles, as I said. So my number 12 pose is the sensual stretch pose. And I suppose the first thing that you're asking is, Mark, what's the difference between the lay-in arch and the sensual stretch? Technically nothing, except for the mood and the sensuality I'm trying to bring through a change in facial expression, hand position, and definitely the leg expression as well. Okay, so technically the few words I wrote were standing or sitting, stretching arms up to the side, elongating the body. But as I said, it's much more than that. The pose does start from the lay-in arch, okay? That gives us the gap in between the actual middle of the back and the bed or the sofa or the table, whatever you're on. The next thing is the hand position. So instead of the arms being stretched way above the head, this is more kind of interlocking with the likes of the hair. What I'm trying to bring in is an almost sexual feeling. So they're kind of, it's in them. It's an euphoria. And really trying to kind of bring that alive with the expression in the face and the mouth expression. So I tend to go with eyes closed, mouth open a little bit, and the chin pushed back. So in other words, stretching the head backwards more. And the more the client can actually stretch the head back, in fact, the more erotic it can feel, the more kind of in the moment the woman will look. Then we kind of come down the pose to the leg position, and I usually talk about the front leg or the front knee being higher than the back knee. In this case, I've swapped it. In the sensual stretch pose, I kind of drop this front leg lower and push the back leg higher and opening the knees more. And this tends to actually bring a little bit more of erotica, that sensation, that feeling, that mood that we're trying to create with this kind of image. Remember, we're into this kind of glamorous kind of element in week 2, but in that glamorous, I also want the pure sexuality, empowerment kind of coming through in the pose. With all the poses that we're going through, I would always kind of encourage you to dance around the subject with your the camera and not just fixate yourself in one place and shoot in one direction. This pose will absolutely change itself from the kind of the 4 different points that you can shoot from here. So point 1 is where we're shooting in the profile position. Point 2 is where we're photographing from the head position down the body line. Position 3 will be where we're shooting from the feet. In this case, I will always use one knee across the actual other knee to actually disguise the groin. And I'll tell the client where I'm positioning from, and they'll hear my voice anyway, but I'll tell them like, okay, I'm focusing in on your rib cage, or I'm focusing in on the garter or on your bra, whatever it is, explaining all the time exactly what I'm doing. But then there's a point 4 where we're shooting from above. And even if you've only got a little bit of a step stool, or you can stretch your arms above the client and shoot down on them, this pose, the sensual stretch pose, is absolutely beautiful in capturing the essence of boudoir sexuality at that point. And even with a fully dressed client, or even a client that is under the likes of a sheet, we can create a beautiful erotic image in this simple pose. If you'd like to see some more content on the Photographer Academy, simply go over to thephotographeracademy.com. And if it's boudoir photography you're interested in, just scroll onto portrait, then kind of scroll down to boudoir, click onto that, and you'll see a whole host of different kind of topics for you to actually click onto. And any of the orange banners then takes you to the pages where you can actually follow that through to see more of our content.